Hello and welcome to this week's episode of St Andrew's Juniors. My name is Claire and I'm the curate of St Andrew's Church, Stapleford. This week we're celebrating the gift of the Holy Spirit and the birthday of the Church in the festival of Pentecost. On the day of Pentecost, Jesus' disciples experienced being dramatically filled with the Holy Spirit. This was the moment they'd all been waiting for. The moment when God's promise was fulfilled, as told by the prophets of the Old Testament. The power of the Holy Spirit was poured out over all those gathered there, overflowing in a dramatic way. Let's find out more now in our Bible story, read to us today by Sophie.
With the sound of a whirlwind it came, rushing into the house where the followers of Jesus gathered. There was a commotion and flames as the Holy Spirit came, resting on each of the disciples like a tongue of fire. As it whooshed into the room, the Spirit filled them all with foreign languages, and the disciples spoke in words they didn't understand. Inspired, and with words gushing out of them, they went out onto the streets. It was the festival of Pentecost, and Jerusalem was full of Jews from all over the world. When the disciples came out into the street, the crowds heard them speaking the message of Jesus in their own languages. They were amazed. "How can this be?" they asked. "All the followers of Jesus are from Galilee, but we can hear their message loud and clear in words we understand." Not everyone was impressed, though. Some listeners sneered. "These people are drunk." Peter, still filled to overflowing with the Spirit's power, stood up in front of the people. "We're not drunk," he said. "It's only 9 a.m. No, you're seeing and hearing what the prophet Joel spoke about in the Old Testament." Peter continued. "Joel said, 'God will pour his Spirit on all people. Children will prophesy and adults will see holy visions. The Spirit is for everyone, men, women, and children. There will be signs in heaven and on earth, and these will be the last days. Everyone who calls on the Lord's name shall be saved.' Like a fiery whirlwind it came, and the Spirit breathed new life into the followers of Jesus."
The festival of Pentecost is still celebrated around the world today by Jewish people and of course by Christians. And on the day that Jesus' disciples had gathered in Jerusalem to celebrate, people had come from all around the world, from many different countries and places. So imagine what it must have been like for those people when they heard the disciples come out and talk about Jesus in their own language, so all would understand the message about Jesus. The crowd was amazed, but the reaction was mixed. Some listened and believed, and others didn't listen and didn't believe. In fact, they thought the disciples were drunk and were stupid. But they were wrong. And the disciples were amazed too. The Holy Spirit had rushed upon them like a whirlwind, and its flames rested on each of them like tongues of fire. What an incredible experience! The Spirit's power touched their hearts, gave them courage, and made them bold, and helped them talk about Jesus in ways everyone could understand. Today we too can hear this story in a language we can understand. The Spirit is available for us too. Ask and receive the fire and the wind of the Spirit to touch our hearts, give us courage and make us bold when we speak about Jesus. In our story today, we learnt that the wind and the fire of the Holy Spirit is a gift from God which we can all receive. All we have to do is ask, "Holy Spirit, come." In our craft activities today, we'll be thinking about the Holy Spirit a bit more. In our first activity, Sue will be showing you how to make wind and fire streamers, which reminds us that the Holy Spirit is like the wind and fire. And in our second activity, Lisa will be showing us how to create a handprint Holy Spirit flame.
Hi there, I'm going to make some quick and easy Pentecost streamers. I've got some white paper, some clear tape, a pair of scissors and some bits and bobs of tissue paper or crepe paper, and I also found some blue metallic strips that are going to be useful. So to start with, you need to take your piece of paper and roll it up lengthways. And that's going to be the stem of your streamer. When you've done that, you just need to secure it with a couple of pieces of tape. I'm going to make some streamer that represents fire, the flames of Pentecost. So I've got some red and some yellow tissue paper and a piece of yellow ribbon. You might have some orange too, but I couldn't find any of that. And I'm just going to attach that to the top of my paper with some tape. And now I can wave it in the wind. I also made one with white and green and blue pieces to represent water. Good waving.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. This afternoon I'm going to show you how to make a representation of the Holy Spirit. You're going to use hand shapes in coloured paper to make the flames of the Holy Spirit. So to do this you're going to need a piece of card, a bit of cereal packet will do fine, a piece of paper to stick your hand shapes onto, then some coloured paper to cut the hand shapes out of. I happen to have red, yellow and pink here, but any colours that you have will do, or you could even use a colourful magazine if that's what you have. You need a pen, a glue stick or some liquid glue and a pair of scissors. So the first thing you need to do is to draw around your hand on the card and then cut it out so that you have a strong template that you can use. Then on your coloured paper, if you draw around your hand shape and then cut it out, do quite a lot of those, probably at least 12 altogether, and then you'll end up with lots of hands in different colours. The next thing to do is on your piece of paper that you're going to stick everything onto, you need to write at the bottom, the Holy Spirit is for everyone. Like that. Now comes the fun part of sticking your hand shapes on. So the trick with this is to start at the top. You don't need all that much glue, just put a bit on the bottom of the hand and then just choosing whichever colours you want, doesn't matter which way they go. You could even use different size hands. You could ask people in your family to let you draw around their hands, so you just keep sticking them on like this, just keep going, layering them up. As I said, if you start at the top it's much easier. And you just keep going like that till you've covered the whole of your sheet in hand shapes that look like flames. Have fun.
Let's join together now in prayer.
Hello everyone. For this activity you will need quite a big bowl of water, some paper straws, then some cupcake cases, then some post-it notes. You just need some scissors, little lump of blue tack and a pen or pencil. If you haven't got any of these things, just contact us by emailing families@standrewstapleford.org and we'll get them to you. Take 3 cupcake cases for each boat. So there we go, it's 3 of these green ones. And just leave them all together, one inside the other, and then flatten them with your fingers like this. Make them into a sort of little fan shape, and then open them back out again like this to make them more in the shape of a boat. So now we've got 5 little boats all ready to go, and now we need to make the masts. So now I need to get 2 paper straws ready to cut to the right length to be the masts. Each one I'm going to cut to be about 3 centimeters long, maybe nearer to 4, depending on how big your post-it notes are. And I'm just going to cut the straws at 3 or 4 centimeter lengths like this. So now we have to squash the masts starting at one end with your fingers and thumb. Just squash the paper straw down almost to the end, and then just leave a little round open end like that. Okay, here we go. I've got my 5 little masts. Okay, so now we've got the post-it notes, and you can write your prayers on these. And you might want to write 5 different prayers to go on each of your sails. They can be about things like God helping you with something, asking God to help others, thanking God for something wonderful, maybe your family and friends, the beauty of nature, the flowers, the birds at this time of year, something like that. So you can think what prayers you want to write. When you write your prayer, start writing it on the side where the sticky end is on the back, if that makes sense. So I've written a prayer here, and now I can feel the sticky edge at this end at the back, so I'm going to cut a nice sail end shape onto the end of my prayer on this side. So I'll just show you how I'm doing that. So now my prayer is in the shape of a sail, and I'm going to stick it to one of my little masts like this. And now I'm going to get some blue tack, tiny little lump of blue tack, and put that ball of blue tack, press it onto the bottom of my little mast prayer, and then I'm going to stick that into one of my boats like this. Press it down hard. Now we have 5 little prayer boats like this, and so we're going to put all of these into our bowl of water, and I'm now going to blow them from towards the back of the bowl, just to remind me that I'm sending my prayers off to God. It's even more fun if you can find a pond to stick your prayer boats into and blow them as far as you can. You could even put some little seeds in one of your boats. I've got some little fenugreek seeds here, which are sort of brown and grungy, and they remind me of all my worries and fears and things. So I'm going to put them in the boat with the prayer about that, and just send all those grungy worries and fears, blow them off to God to deal with. And here are some green fennel seeds, which sort of symbolize hope in a way, seeds of hope. And I'm going to put them in the boat with one of my hopeful prayers, the prayers that I have that remind me of God's good promises and the hope that we have in him. So I'm going to stick them in there and send that little boat off with my prayer to God as well. So thank you for listening. I hope you have fun doing this. Bye.
And now John Bryden will teach us a new song.
Hello again. Here is All Over the World. It's quite a simple song, you perhaps know it. So I'll sing the first verse, and then we'll do it all again together, and then work our way through the lovely 5 verses. All over the world, the Spirit is moving. All over the world, as the prophet said it would be. All over the world, there's a mighty revelation of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. After 3, 4, let's all do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All over the world, the Spirit is moving. All over the world, as the prophet said it would be. All over the world, there's a mighty revelation as the waters cover the sea. All over this land, the Spirit is moving. All over this land, as the prophet said it would be. All over this land, there's a mighty revelation of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. All over the church, the Spirit is moving. All over the church, as the prophet said it would be. All over the church, there's a mighty revelation of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. All over us all, the Spirit is moving. All over us all, as the prophet said it would be. All over us all, there's a mighty revelation of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Deep down in my heart, the Spirit is moving. Deep down in my heart, as the prophet said it would be. Deep down in my heart, there's a mighty revelation of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for St Andrew's Juniors. I look forward to seeing you again this time next week. Have fun making your activities. All instructions can be found on our website www.standrewstapleford.org. I hope you have a fantastic week. Stay safe and God bless.